Hi, I'm Donatus, and this is a distributed programming chat application. In this project, I did most of the GUI, all of the GUI, and the anything associated with login and register in the client manager and the client database manager. So in this case, using my SQL database, we do a check for the login and register if the account exists for the specific server. Otherwise, you can register an account. Again, the password will be MD5 encrypted. Once you log in using the tab pane, so I'm using tabs to display the information. So for each tab there's a chat, and each chat has a representation of a hash symbol. And if it's not a chat and it doesn't have a hash symbol, and if it's a private chat, it has an @ symbol. Any user can just speak to each other in this chat, and it tells them whenever they join or leave chat, but you cannot leave the main chat. So I'm quickly going to show there's a logout feature. It tells that once it's logged out, it removes you from all the chats. So coming back, you can create a new chat. This is just for debugging purpose, was not removed. Test, you can speak, and you can also invite. So see, a new invitation. Now this freezes both clients, which is one way we did it. It's not a good way, but it was done. And you click invite, then a new chat tab is prompted for the other user, and now they can speak to each other, and they can also leave. But at the same time, the user can just join back in if they know the correct details. If the password is incorrect, and also tells them whether they're in the chat already or not. They can also direct chat users, so if they message the user, a new chat window tab pops up. Using this, they can just speak to each other. Now if one user is not online, so if I log out, this information, he can just send it to him. He knows that it's from A to C, and this information is stored in the messages table in the database. There they are. The next time C logs back in, it is shown the information in the main chat. And also if the person just talks to him right now, they get a new tab window for him right there. The settings tab just displays available chats and number of chats. And if you're an administrator, which the account is, you can change the number of chats allowed through here. And the create chat button will be disabled if the number of chats reach that number. Now let's have a look at the code. I'm gonna go through my stuff that I did, and I'm sure the other members will talk about their stuff more. Now this is the main connection. So in order to connect the chat room and this window here, to display it to specific tab, there has to be an association of the name of the chat and the chat, the text pane, so the array of text panes. So the first pane is the left side and the second pane is the right side. So this was just the easiest way to associate whatever chat, whatever tab the information should be displayed to. Public static, these were made public statics for the client class. If we have a quick look at the client class, get notification has to use some of the GUI, so and the chat manager stuff, so this was the easiest way to make it available access. Now we quickly look at the main app. Except constructor just does a lot of updating of labels. So whenever state of the tab, every time you switch tab, there's actually an update going on just to make sure that it's synced with the server. Once you close it, there's a clean close. The client is removed from every single chat whenever the user closes the program. And it's just to check to make sure that they're online or not. Logout does the same thing. Clean close and re-adds the tab for login and register. Now, chat join, you can only do it if if the user is not in the chat already. If it is, then a bunch of labels become available, turned on, saying that you already exist. This is used with the chat manager class. Create button. Again, it creates a chat. To check whether the chat name already exists is done in a different function. It creates a chat and updates everything. Register. It does a comparison to see if your password, two fields to make sure you're entering the same password, and then this password, if the username does not exist in the database, it then encrypts the password and puts it into the database. That's what the register button does, and it has to have a connection to the client manager object in the database. So it does an RMI naming lookup through network. If it's registered, it tells them they're registered. Same for login. This is the button where once logged in, it makes a connection with the chat manager object because it has to check whether they're logged in or not. If they're logged in, they will not let them log in again. But if they're not logged in, then what it does a comparison of the information in the database to see if the username and password exist and the password is MD5 encrypted. Stuff is enabled if they're admin or not. Also, stuff is I didn't show it. Oh, it is there. Stuff is displayed in the main app if they've missed messages while being offline, and the messages are also deleted with the client manager application. The send button, user chat send, so it creates a specific chat with a different symbol. So @ for a private one-to-one chat, and # for a public, anyone can join, many people chat. And what happens, and I showed it, multiple ways of communicating and opening these tabs for each other based on whether they're online or not. Chat room limit, simple function to set our chat room limit. Once the application opens, there's a bunch of labels set visible and invisible. Create chat, so what happens, it checks if the chat exists or not. If it's not, then it adds the chat to the structure in the chat manager object. And what it does, it joins that chat. Now what join chat does, it basically is the window creator or the tab creator. So every time you join the chat, these two panes are created, and the send button, specific send button, are created based with the GUI code. Uses scroll panes, just JText panes in order to scroll, and every time based on the chat symbol, it does invitation function. So if you're looking in here, there's no invitation in the main chat, and there's no leave button in the main chat, and there's also no invitation in the one-to-one chat. So there's a lot of covering in here to make sure it displays correctly. Does some color changes and stuff, and then it adds the tab whenever you join it, whenever this function is called, and it also registers the client with the chat for callback. So the server takes care of that, so it sends any messages the server receives, that person will receive for that chat. It's registered for callback. Again, it has to have a connection with the send. This is to check for private chatting. If they're online, then it's talk to them in the regular chat. If they're not, then it stores them in the database. Keep going. These updates chat users. So what happens is takes the JText pane and updates it every time someone leaves and enters. Also to update chat list, this also in the settings is updated every time changes. And clean close removes all the users from the chat. Now I'm quickly going to go through everything else. So chat is pretty simple. Symbol is to indicate what type of chat room it is. Client has username and whether admin. Most complicated function is get notification code is because it is the message from the server. So if the server message is just a regular user message, so it displays it to that chat. If it's a message from the server update and it updates chat list, calls the function main app. It's made public static. Invite invites the user to this chat, so it creates a new chat room. Also it does this invitation box that you cannot get rid of, and it calls the join chat function. And there's a bunch of colors here in terms of displayed in a specific just scroll pane. So as I was talking about that hash map, the rest is fine. Quickly have a look at chat utility. This is hash. Let's look at the server side. So chat manager, Kelvin will speak about that. You need to have a list of or hash map of chats and names and chats, and then name of the chat and the list. So it gets chat members, all chats. We're able to get on a list of all chats. Number of chats. This is just a simple function, returns an int of number of user of chats. So again, you pass in the chat name and gives you the number of users. You can add a chat to the hash map, so it's just an add chat function. Remove chat. Again, it's just removing chat from the hash map. Chat exists. Again, checking whether it exists or not, pretty straightforward. Send messages a bit more because it calls the doCallFax function. So when you send the message, so it's sent to the specific chat based on the chat name and message. And again, get chat set room limit, send invitation. So make sure that in order to send the invitation, the user has to exist and it's not part of the chat. So these are a bunch of checks it does here. Get client, again, gets a client from a specific chat room to check whether they exist or not. Register for callback, register specifically them to that chat room. Unregister, removes them from that chat room, used mostly at the end when you close the program. Removes, there you go, that just removes all users from the chat room. Do callbacks, and that's for everyone. The server needs to send out to everyone the message, and the callback is for specific and is registered to check whether they're registered with the chat. Now quickly going on to some of this my part. Now there's a function or a class built in order to connect to the MySQL database. So there's a bunch of insert records and messages. The functions I wrote has @author with my name, and what it does, it's a bunch of selects and deletes and inserts a message just for my SQL. And if we look at Client Manager, I did login and register functions which use the Client Database Manager. Insert no, select no. Get my admin from user, so it just checks whether it's an admin or not from the database. And quickly, message just has a message, and it also has a timestamp, so you're able to tell when the message was sent. And server is pretty straightforward in terms of it creates these RMI objects that you can get clients connect to, and it starts the registry in order to store these objects inside the registry for use of other external clients. Just to quickly recap, I did the GUI and the login and register for this project.